Good evening. Welcome to another Yellow Belly Tabletop live stream. Um, uh, Hope you all had a good week since we all saw you last. Seems to have gone quick. I don't know what you think, mate.
I mean, yesterday for me at work absolutely flew by. Today dragged its ass. Absolutely dragged its ass. But it's not been too bad otherwise.
So, what are we up to tonight? Well, David and I will obviously have a quick chat. Hello, we've got somebody in the chat already. Early doors. Hello, Crispin.
He's back.
David and I will be going through what we're painting tonight. Then we'll have a chat about what we got up to at our regular club nights. We haven't got much of a substantive, meaty topic planned for tonight,
we haven't,
have we, mate?
Yeah, not got something to really sink our teeth into like other nights.
So, obviously, if you guys want to talk about anything in chat, just spin it out there, and we'll see if we can weave a conversation. What I have got prepared is we've got some photographs of the Wild West Exodus and Mythos stuff that Wayland brought to UK Games Expo, just to show you some pictures of the pretty models. And we've got a few photos of their Dystopian Wars stuff as well, which is a game I haven't had a play with, but really intrigues me.
I haven't had a play either, but I know DW owns some, so it will only be a matter of time
before you get round to it at club.
So at some point on the stream, boys and girls, we will be talking about Dystopian Wars once I've had a play experience of it.
Awesome job. What else? And the other thing, David and I saw a great little company called Yetser Terrain. I think
yes, it was
Yetser. With a great little sort of STL offering, where you print your own sci-fi based terrain.
Well, again, even you that doesn't own a 3D printer was like, "Oh, this is really nice."
I must confess, it did tempt me. It was good. It was so good, the presentation on it, that I did think, oh, could I get an FDM printer and have a go at this? But the price offering was very good, and the stuff's extremely modular and scalable. Hi, Jerry. So
evening.
Yeah, so that's what we got to talk about tonight. So do you want to start, mate? What are you going to do hobby-wise?
Hang on, let me just get this bit of paint on, and then we can go camera down in a second. So, at the moment, I'm on painting comp mode.
I'll show you in a minute, Jerry.
So I'm on painting comp mode for our local club for just bragging rights.
Yep.
So I'm ready when you are, sir, if you want to transition.
Show your mini cam.
And I'll try not to make people sick with emotion. So we're still on the God tier, painting Morrigan. We got the skin base toned down, a wash, and I'm now just going back in with the base coat. I've got highlighting to do. Then I've got to finish off the armour and wash the armour, and then just pick out a few details in the base.
What's the plan with the staff?
Possibly a cold, ashy wood colour.
Okay, sort of like a grey wood.
Is what I'm thinking.
Cool. Coolio.
And then I'm going in on his followers at the moment. So obviously this is half done. So that's when it's been washed. And then I'm going in and putting in the highlights. And I'm probably going to go one or two higher than that. So that's the main thing. And then the next thing we're going to try and conquer tonight is Tim. Which is like the objective marker. I've got no idea how I want to paint it because it's crystal wreathed with smoke and skulls and everything else. So
actually, with all
answers on a postcard,
with all those textures sort of crowded together, that's going to be quite a fiddly job to paint.
Yes. So that's last on my list to do at the moment. At the moment, it's get these boys finished. So that's
So
me
what?
done.
Let's just go back to the chat. Jerry, what the hell are you on about? What do you mean Crispin's a big boy? Is this some sort of weird sexual illusion, or have you just had a birthday, Crispin, or what?
And how do you mean, Crispin? Local club. It's the club I inherited when Paul decided to emigrate, along with a couple of other people.
Yeah,
So I
so
help.
we go to separate clubs.
Yeah,
Oh,
I help
many happy
run it.
returns, Crispin. Good job. Fucking hell, yeah, 51. Welcome to the club, mate.
So, yeah, it's the club that I help run.
And obviously we go to separate clubs because obviously I'm up here, Isle of Bute, Scotland, and David is back in Lincolnshire. So,
Gorgeous sunny Lincolnshire.
so what am I doing today? Go on.
Answers on a postcard, everyone at home.
Yeah, let's. I have a fucking guess in the chat while I set up my light. So Jerry asked, "How is the Assassin's Creed coming?" Well, there you go, Jerry. That's how the Assassin's Creed coming. Batch paint-a-thon. So at the moment, I'm applying this Army Painter. Good lighting, Paul. I'm applying this Army Painter hardened leather to everything that needs it. So we're onto the chests now. All the hardened leather is done on the agiles. Let's get the light closer to the camera, then we can get some decent light on it. There we go. That
I do like these
pro
acryls.
So those agiles, really the only thing left to do on the agiles is all the metallics, which I do with standard Vallejo paints, not the... Because I know some people do use the greys as a pseudo metallic effect in like these contrast and speed paint lines. I'm not a fan, frankly. Give me good old classic metallics every day. These guys are painting up the same as the crossbow guys before. We've got the slaughter red on, the crusader skin for the flesh tone, and now I've done the hardened leather brown. They still need black. They need some darker wood on the crossbow stocks, yellow detailing, which will be a mixture of Vallejo and some speed paint, and then metallics on everything like armor plates, etc. The chests are basically just two colour. I'm just going to do the hardened leather on all the woodwork and then do all the metallics in like an oily steel Vallejo. And depending on how the metallics look, I might put a little bit of a wash on them. But we'll see how it looks. At the end of the day, they're just chests for a board game. So I'll be picking at them throughout tonight.
I've just kind of thought of a topic.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the new Citadel contrast that's coming?
How do I, or how does everybody else?
How do you feel? How do people at home feel? How do we feel about the new washes? I mean, I'm excited to try some of the new washes, but I am also conscious of the fact that the pots are now smaller and back to the size that they used to be, and the prices remain the same. Call me dubious.
Well, I've watched, as I'm sure everybody else has, I've watched several YouTube videos already covering these new contrast paints. And I am drawn to them because much as I love these speed paints, the palette's a little limited. There is literally only 23 colours. So I want to expand my horizons with my colours. Yeah. And obviously at the moment, contrast are the only other good product on the market. Every video has underscored the problem that made me not buy them in the first place, which is A, they're like 30 to 50% more expensive than any other brand, and B, every paint does something different.
Yeah, that is still a problem that I have seen. Yeah, Jerry, they've definitely reduced the pot size on the washes because it came up in
Yeah.
conversation on our club's Discord of, oh, these are nice. And I'm like, because I think, was it,
It's
who
it's
was it that
only
did it? Was it Frizzoni that did it? Or was it the other Spanish guy that loves his contrasts and his glazes and other stuff? Can't remember his name.
it is only the shade products though that have changed pot size, because they used to be in the big jumbo null
24
oil.
mils.
Yeah, they've gone down to standard contrast size. All of the other contrast paints that are labelled as contrast paints, not shades, are the same pot size they were the first release. So it's only the shade products that have changed.
Yeah, but the shades used to be 18. Then they made them bigger, put the price up, and now they've brought the pot size down but left the price where it was.
Yeah, well, that's cheap. It's like chocolate bars getting smaller but staying the same price. It's
Yes,
a way of
it was Juan, Jerry.
yeah.
I'm really uncertain because again, like I think they've even compared like the wash formulation pre and post the pot size changes, and I'm not gonna lie, Agrax and Null don't look the same.
Yes, I haven't actually seen any direct comparisons for them. I mean, as I say, my issue is I cannot go. Why is this? I've got it on show every comment and it's giving me loads of stuff that I've got to fucking. Hang on a minute. Let me just go into these settings.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a huge fan of GW paints usually. The washes I am quite partial to, but I'm definitely more of a Vallejo boy.
I'll be honest, I don't own any Games Workshop paints at all.
You liar, you own old
Hang on a
ones.
minute. Hang on a minute. I was just going to show the camera. Unless you count these, which are the inks and paints from the late 80s, early 90s. I think they're the ones that were made by Coat d'Arms back in the day. But I don't buy GW stuff now because it's just too fucking expensive.
Did you not buy some Agrax the other month?
Oh yeah, well yes, but I did say paints.
True.
I'm the same as you. I have bought Nuln and Agrax and Seraphim Sepia because their washes are pretty good, frankly. Good consistency, better value than their other products, or they were. That's obviously.
And the other thing I find with a wash and a dropper from the likes of Vallejo, you can never get exactly what you want.
Yeah. The wash products are better in a bottle. In a bottle with a cap. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lid. Clearly express myself there. Yeah. So much as I want to try the new contrast paints,
the answer is you probably won't.
Yes, Jerry, the old hex pots. Much as I want to try them, I'm fucking annoyed that before I go and spend any money, I've got to look on the internet, watch a load of videos or reviews to find out this is a lovely paint, but is it a shade paint? Because if it's just like, I mean, it's like that Imperial Fist Yellow that everybody's having a fucking baby about. Basically, it goes on fully opaque, doesn't self-shade. Well, I've got yellows that do that.
That's what I was going to say. I know I've seen on the old Facebook,
and it's like they brought a new black out. They've put a new black in the paint, the contrast range that is black. It's like,
to be fair, to be fair, Panzer, I have a bottle of that here.
Yeah. So this is interesting. Because you bought that recently, David, didn't you?
Yes, I bought that, but I mainly bought that for terrain. I find it's a bit too thick and black for my liking.
Do you use them a lot, Panzer? Do you use them on miniatures or armour? Or what's your... I mean, I'm guessing from your name that you're a bit of a World War II buff, but I could be wrong. Would you say that they're good for miniatures? Of any scale? Or like David said, are they a bit heavy-handed for that? Oh, so they water down okay. Okay, that's really interesting.
I'll have to give that a try because obviously I was applying neat from the pot because it was terrain and it was Frostgrave, and I technically did paint my building slightly too light, so I was like, sod it, I'm tarring it with this because it's black as houses. So
awesome.
I'll have to give that a try, Panzer.
Because how many did they do in the range? Is it basically just blacks and browns? Or have they got anything exotic?
So in the dip-in. I know, because I have even got some of their game colour little ones that I used to use on my salamanders. But the problem I find with them on my sallies, even when watering them, is I can occasionally, if I'm a bit heavy-handed with the wash, it'll split. The medium splits out, and then you get like this weird frosting. With the
Panzer did say he was thinning them with water rather than any kind of diluent medium, so he's obviously getting it to work. Maybe it was
Don't
just
forget
bad
though,
luck.
I was painting. Well, again, this was years ago when I used to paint Sallies.
True. They may have. You've not done that in a while.
That's when I started my hobby, was painting the black boys and the drakes and everything else. That's how I cut. That's the first 40k army I had.
Well, I haven't
cut my teeth with.
I haven't seen. Oh, for God's sake, YouTube! Just show all of the comments.
Is it being a tit?
It's just I've put allow all comments, and it's like this last one from Jerry has got put up for review because he's mentioned the word black, I'm assuming. I mean, come on, YouTube, get a grip.
We're talking about colours here.
It just drives you nuts.
Oh no, it'll be because of the first couple of words of that particular comment. I would hazard a guess.
Probably, but it's still infuriating.
I get content filtering, but really,
come on. Here we go.
Painting miniatures, it's a weird thing that will never catch on.
Yeah. Crispin's now look, Crispin, I'm busy. I haven't got time to keep showing your pseudo-sexual flipping double entendres. So just give it a rest. Okay. So
Put the JCB down, step out of the cab.
I haven't seen anybody post that they're actually doing any work. So if you guys are hobbying or modelling or whatever, just spam it in the comments and let us know what you're up to. We always like to,
Yeah,
the nice thing for people for doing the show is to know that somebody's locked in and just doing nothing but doing a bit of hobby and chilling, because I know it's something we all struggle to do with busy lives and shit.
Evening, Toros. No, I have these, which are the Vallejo game killer washes.
Jerry's painting Natal native horses for Blood and Steel. I don't know that game, Jerry. I'm guessing, what is it? Small scale, ancient.
He switched to his top secret account.
Ooh, Crispin's building a new ship. Kataros hobby and modelling. What's that? Get out!
It's witchcraft! It's witchcraft!
Crispin's lost his paint. Hey, yeah, but you're building. So what? I mean, don't worry about painting, mate. If you
I mean, you've got a
getting
mountain
stuff
of grey.
glued together's cool. So when you say ship, are we talking what scale? Are we talking MDF galleon, plastic kit, modern day battleship? What are we talking, Crispin? Are we talking spaceship?
Armada. Drop fleet
BNS's
commander.
skirmish actions in the Victorian period. Okay, mate. So what? Sort of colonial, imperial, that sort of shit. Interesting. Oh, billion sun scale. So billion sun scale. So it's the size of his hobby desk. Okay, so fair enough. Oh well. Panzer's sort of in there. He's tweaking pictures he's taken. So that's hobby. Nice. For Zulu. You do... I tell you what, Jerry, you do get in some... You're into some exotic shit, man. You would be a dangerous man to know, is all I'm saying. The things you would drag me into. Fucking hell.
Paul's going down with the ship. Paul's going down with the ship, boys and girls.
So Jerry comes in wearing a sort of a long Mac. Have you seen this? Let me show you. No!
Just opens his coat as you walk through the door.
Go 2 years, never play the same fucking game twice. It's one way not to get good at anything. It's probably a ploy. Is that what you do, Jerry? Just keep everybody on the back foot playing different games so you can beat them.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, I had Tim. I was watching one of your shows earlier, mate, while I was enjoying a pipe. When Jerry was giving you some stick about your preferred way of drinking soft drinks and alluding it to, Nazi doctrine, which seemed a stretch, but for laughter effects, I get it. Panzer has put Jerry, they have your number. Right. Okay, thanks, Panzer, just to know that we called it. That's cool. Yeah, got it. Nice. Right, mate. So
it's 25 minutes into Stream Boy.
Right,
we've not talked about what we did at club this week.
I'm gonna make everybody get the sick bags ready, guys. So on Tuesday night, I played my first game of a new Games Workshop game.
Oh God, Jesus!
That's it. So I played the new Kill Team, which came out in 2021.
That peak year for gaming.
Yeah. When I first saw it, I was like, yeah, I've got to support this product because I liked the look of it, and the thing I most liked the look of was that it was Games Workshop had finally grown a pair, taken all of their sacred cows, slaughtered them, and said, we are done with Kill Team being 40k light. We're going to cut the ties, design it from the ground up. And I thought, finally, they're taking some fucking bold game design decisions. And I bought into it. I've bought every box set that's been released. So Octarius, Chalnath, Nakmund, and now Morok. So I'll tell you about Yellow Bellies in a minute, Toros, if you want to know where that comes from. But it's not Australian snakes. So I decided to back the product, but then I haven't had a chance to play it. And we finally got to play it this week. I played Orcs, the Orc Commandos, and Patrick played Gene Stealer cults from the White Dwarf. We just played Training Wheels, so we played open narrative play. We didn't bother with the scouting phase. We didn't bother with the TAC Ops cards. We just played the open play narrative mission with the objectives that you had to secure. And I fucking loved it. It's great. It's an awesome little game. The unique selling point, which is this: when you activate a model, you choose it as either being engaged status or concealed status, whatever it's called. And with the status that you choose, changes both the orders or the things that you can spend your action points on, and it also changes the way the model interacts with other models and the terrain. Is a really cool little mechanic. And these sort of USPs, for me, are the things that light up these small skirmish games. If there's nothing new in it, I get bored and I don't really feel the draw. But I loved the game. I've got a couple of gripes after my first game, but I would do because it's a Games Workshop product. Number one, they need unit cards the same as they've got for Warcry. The table clutter is fucking obscene. So next to a model, you'll have a dice with its wounds total on. You'll have its engaged concealed counter. You might have an Overwatch counter. And it's a small board anyway. And you've got 20 models on. It just gets a bit fucking ridiculous. If you had cards to refer to every model in your warband, put all the crap on the card.
You know what
solved.
You could do? You could improve your GW product by doing that yourself.
Well, that's what I'm going to do, obviously. I'm going to create custom cards in some short spreadsheet software, print them off, sleeve them up in magic sleeves or something like that. It may very well be like Legion Tauros. I haven't played that yet. I've got the starter set, but I've not managed to get it to the table. Another game I'm very keen to try. The other concern I've got, and this one will surprise nobody in the room, is balance. Because there's no point system, because you basically
Right.
the way they draw the lists up is you can take one of every model and then you can fill your roster spaces with jank basic guys. And if you're somebody who's got a limited model collection and can't field every single one of the specialists, if somebody can build a warband where they field all of the specialists and have no jank filler, they're going to cream you. Because they've got loads of extra special rules and nifty little tricks. But
that's only if their box sets have been released, haven't they? Because I know that was a criticism that
I'm talking about...
you could only take like firstborns together.
Well, hang on a minute. You're talking about something else. I'm talking about taking the bespoke kill teams designed for the new kill team.
Yeah.
The other thing I've seen on the internet is that if you take the Codex/Index book that was released to make all of the existing 40k model collection backwards compatible, the general consensus opinion online is don't fucking bother. Because all of the stuff in that book is so second tier.
There's no specialisms.
It's a waste of time.
Again,
yeah,
you can only take like firstborns as a unit. You can't take firstborn and Primaris like you used to be able to in the old edition of Kill Team.
But even if you do, everything is so vanilla compared to the bespoke ones, which have special rules coming out the wazoo, that it's just pointless. You may as well go for the bespoke shit. But as I say, those are my two concerns. I've got a feeling that it may be a game that suffers a bit in balance. And the other thing is the stupid... everybody's called the movement mechanic, and like your models move 3 circle. Just say they move 6 inches. What the fuck? You know, it's like, give me a break.
I will be surprised, or I will...
Hello, Ricky. It's coming, mate. It's coming.
Yeah, chill. We're talking about Paul at the moment. We'll get on to me in a minute. So I will be surprised if I won't be surprised if it goes the way that Underworlds has gone for you.
I
I.e., playing these first sets that are released now versus something that might be released in 2 years' time.
Yeah, maybe. Again, it does have a Spec Ops campaign mode, and that does look cool. But again, I think this, as a game, I enjoyed it. But I've got a feeling it's going to be one of them games where you're going to want to know what you're signing up for. Don't expect the world's most balanced gaming experience. Play it narrative. Play it fun.
Panzer just rolled in with the shots.
It's low-hanging fruit, Panzer, but you're dead right, son. So that's what I did. Finally got to get some value out of the stuff that I spent my hard-earned money on. So what about you, David? What did you do Monday night?
I was teaching Ricky, who's just rocked up in chat, how to play Infinity. So bear in mind, I played, 2 or 3 games of N3 with you?
You're dead right, mate.
I played 2 or 3 games of N3 with you before you left.
Yep.
And then I think it was shortly after, or it was tail ender last year, I was like discussing with Paul of, I'm getting into Infinity, I'm going to buy the 2-player starter. So I bought Operation Kaldstrom, started painting half of it up. You have seen it on stream before. And I'd been talking about possibly getting the other half painted up and then actually teaching a few lads at Club how to play, because there's a couple of lads that have bought some stuff but never played. There's another couple of lads that would be interested in it. So I was like, right, I'm going to start teaching myself how to play properly. And then Ricky rolled up and had a chat with the fact that Ricky would probably like to play Infinity because we're not massive GW fans. And I said, yeah, no, that's fine. I'll teach him. So we played Hacky Slam versus the Yujing from the Red Veil starter. N4, full flat. We didn't even play at Code 1 because Hacky Slam aren't available in Code 1.
Fair excuse.
And we loved it.
Infinity.
I did win. I did win 6-2.
Sorry, David. Jerry's just said, I think Infinity alone. Is that another one of these worldwide global campaign things? Carry on, mate. I'm assuming it must be.
So I ended up winning 6-2. We had quite a good game. Ricky had a sniper setup being a complete and utter tit, looking across the entire battlefield. So
who was that? That hack sniper.
It was a Tuareg, wasn't it, Ricky?
Tuareg,
that you had sat up in there. And basically, because it's been a while since I played any Infinity, I was like, oh, okay, I'll just keep shooting at it with the bolt rifle. No. Tried to get close with a ninja, and that didn't work either. No, that didn't work either. What turned out to be the Tuareg's undoing was the guy with the MSV level 2 that just strode out from behind cover with his HMG and lit him up like a Christmas tree.
11th to 25th of July. I'll keep my eye on that, Jerry.
Ricky, we're playing Infinity for the next month, whether you like it or not.
That'll be cool, actually, if you guys could do that for the whole campaign week. Or campaign month, I should say.
Yeah.
That would be excellent. I tell you, I might actually try and talk Patrick into having a game that we can do a battle report project on tabletop for this one. That would be quite cool.
So no, I really like Infinity. That's why I've got 2 armies for it already, and I'm already contemplating a 3rd or a 4th.
I love Infinity.
But yeah,
it does really my head in.
Really solid mechanics. Again, it's that Swiss Army knife. It's the Swiss Army tool, isn't it? Or a toolbox. You got every tool in front of you, and you've got a puzzle to solve. Which puzzle are you solving? What are you using for it? And again, if you get slightly pulled out of position, or your opponent knows what's coming, you do suffer.
Yeah. I'd say I wouldn't say I'm good at it by any stretch, but I do enjoy the game a lot.
So what I've said with Ricky is we'll play another game with his hack versus the Yujing. Now he's a bit more spooled up on his list. And then on Tuesday evening, while you were at club, I spent many hours talking to Ricky about what he's going to actually buy. And he's going for Ariadne. So,
That makes sense, actually, because I would have thought the look of that would have appealed to Ricky. That militaristic, sort of almost pseudo-modern day look.
I think we've got your full 300 point list sorted, haven't we, mate?
Does anybody in the chat play Infinity?
And if so, what factions have you got?
I am JSA, Japanese Sectorials. I played them even when they were using Sectorial list.
Yeah, I'm Winter 4 for my Pano, and then White Banner for my Yujing, so both Sectorials.
Everybody tends to go Sectorial now because the advantages of fire teams are just too sick.
Yes, there is some very nice sub-factions for Ariadne. There's the Cosmoflots, which is like the Russian spacemen. They're gorgeous. They're all out of Crimson Stone. And
I like all they're the ones with all the wolf guys, aren't they?
Yes,
I love those, the transforming thingies.
The only thing I'm a little sad about is the tag for the Yujing that I can take as a white banner isn't the most pretty. But
to be fair though, tags do look nice, but I think they're a bit overrated. I think you can do much. I think you can do much more with an order heavy list with remotes and things than you can with a bloody tag. They're such a point sink.
No, but again, I want to paint for the fun of it. Do you know what I mean?
Sure,
even if it only gets used a couple of games a year, it'd be still something for me. Get it out of the box, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah, to be fair, I'll end up buying one eventually. I mean, again, to be fair, I only own one army currently. I was gonna go for vanilla combined army as my second choice, simply because I'm one of those. Everybody might have already gleaned this if they watched us for several weeks, but I'm one of those contrary. Oh, Jerry's got JSA 2 lit as well. We'll have to compare lists, Jerry. I'm one of those contrary bastards that just, if everybody does something, I want to do the opposite. So obviously, vanilla lists I know aren't particularly vogue in Infinity currently. Everybody does some sort of sectorial because of the fire team advantages and shit. But for that reason, I just want to do something vanilla. Because
but also vanilla also allows you to basically pick anything from combined arms to go in your list, so you can pick whatever you want.
That's the thing. I mean, the reason they do it is because obviously, like you say, if you can take the best hacker in your faction plus the best close combat killer in your faction plus the best ARO piece in your faction, they don't want to give you the fire team advantages as well. And I get it. And Infinity has got a fantastic balance to it. I mean, it's one of the most well poised competitive war games on the market. The
minis are beautiful as well.
But
absolutely gorgeous.
Again, the reason for avoiding the sectorial thing is, particularly with combined army, is I want to field all of the alien races if I can. So I want some Shazvasti, Morat. I want all of the alien races represented in my list because I just think it would look cool. Yeah, smoke's definitely a thing in Infinity, Ricky. In fact, I've got my smoke piece here. He's not well painted because he's not finished yet. But I'll put him on minicam later. That's Yojimbo. He's the bit he's my piece for if I need to lay down smoke in some hurry, because he's on a bike as well. He's got a motorbike, so he's really nimble.
My fresh strawberries are growing. Tim. Can't get fresher than picked straight from the plant.
Tim, you decadent asshole. Yeah, Yojimbo's a fantastic model.
Have beer instead.
I might go and get a cola, but not like, unlike some Philistine, I won't be putting Fanta in it. Just saying. Am I right, Jerry?
Right, have I done all the skin tones? Yes, I have. Right, let's get my Valeos out.
Right. I'm going to quickly smash through this last bit of hardened leather on this chest because this batch paint is breaking my spirit.
White grey or black grey compared to that? Where are we going with this?
And then what did you want to discuss, mate? Did you want to discuss Yetser first, or some of the beautiful pickies from Wild West Exodus and Mythos?
Oh, Jerry started on the war. Jesus.
Don't mention the war.
It's not Fanta, and B, it comes that way from the factory. I don't. No.
So what? It's actually cola and orange mixed in a factory. You're telling me they built a purpose-built building to mix cola and orange?
It's millions of miles from anywhere because nobody wants it.
Oh my god.
Too late, lol. Yeah, I know, Panzer, I know.
Oh my god.
Oh, Shizer.
He's gone multilingual, everybody. He's swearing in foreign.
It's the problem with working with a German at work. I knocked my coffee over on my desk earlier today and swore. And the lady at the corridor that works in purchasing came out and was like, "You all right, David?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I've just knocked coffee absolutely everywhere. Don't mind me. I'm just swearing because it's going towards my computer. I'll get to it in a minute."
It's not your computer anyway. Your boss paid for it.
Exactly. It was like, I'll just finish what I'm doing so that I can actually save it, and then I'll go and clear it up because there's nothing worse than walking away and it crashing.
Yeah, I do live in Scotland, Panzer, but I'm not a big fan of Iron Brew.
Oh god, Iron Brew is the best drink ever.
Orange diabetes elixir doesn't appeal to me. Jesus.
I think I've gone too high with that highlight.
To be fair, even the sugar... No, YouTube will not allow links at all, Tim.
YouTube's awkward.
YouTube says no. But if you want to describe to everybody what you were trying to link, then they can type it in manually themselves.
Because we are from the 1980s.
Yeah. Go to this website.
How similar is that to that colour? That's basically the same colour.
That was one of the criticisms I did see on one of the breakdowns of the new contrast paint, was that although they've expanded the range, they have created a lot of colours that are essentially squatting on each other's lawns. You know, you've got like 3 turquoises that are so similar in tone and shade that it's like, what's the point? What's the point? Which again seems a bit daft.
Yeah, but I mean, are they at the point they don't care? Cause,
yeah, I mean, they're at.
I mean, what competition do they have? Speed paints.
Yeah, I'll be honest. As soon as they came out, I wrote to Army Painter and asked them what their plans were for new speed paints, because again, I just want the idea that I go down the shop I buy a box of paints, and every single paint in the range behaves exactly the same, just in a different colour. I mean, it's a novel idea. I can't see it catching on myself.
I mean, you say that, but a paint manufacturer we both love has paints that behave differently.
In terms of what?
Their behaviour.
So in terms of what are you alluding to? Because
Vallejo.
Yeah, so what are you
Some of
alluding
their
to?
colours and how they actually don't cover.
Yeah, but that's a feature of the pigment. And that's not necessarily, and again.
And the splitting, because certain colours don't split.
See, I don't have as much of an issue with that as you do, even with a wet palette. So I can't speak to that.
Well, I mean, you have stuff split in the bottle, don't you?
Not now. Yeah, but obviously I remix it with agitators.
Yeah, I've got agitators in mind, but what I'm saying, I had a really bad experience with some Azure the other week because it just split all over the model while I was trying to paint with it.
We're both massive model colour fans, Panzer, but David's got a few game colour, haven't you, boy?
I have. Oh Jesus! Here we go. One. About 25 game colour.
Yeah. So I must confess, I was amazed when Squidmar did his breakdown of paints a couple of months back that in the sort of side-by-side comparison, him and his mate ended up coming down on the side of model colour. Because I for sure felt they'd go for one of these boutique brands.
Niche. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like them Pro Acryls you got me for Christmas this year, boy. But they behave weirdly. They're really nice when you thin them out, but if you try and use them as a spot highlight or on the wet palette for too long, because they're like that gel medium, they go weird.
Right. Yeah.
The consistency's nice, but Jerry, get out, leave. I use Tamiya occasionally. I use Tamiya on my Drop Zone Commander minis.
Yeah, those are just so Tamiya do just standard acrylics today, because I know they do a lot of weird fucking enamel paints and shit.
Alcohol-based acrylics.
Oh, alcohol-based. Yeah. Yes. So Panzer has split in, David, so he knows what you mean. Jerry's sticking to his guns. Apparently they're fucking terrible. I mean, don't get me wrong. Army Painter don't exactly have a clean slate.
God, Army Painter normal acrylics, they can go right in the skip because they split even worse than Vallejo.
I bought a single Army Painter acrylic paint many years ago, and I wasn't tempted to buy another one after using this. It's like, no, okay, I'm good. Thank you very much.
To be fair though, Jerry, I cut my teeth on Humbrol enamels and Revel enamels, so in the grand scheme of things, Tamiya are really nice.
To be fair, from David's point of view, Dulux tester pots were a step up.
Now.
Right, the Tamiya enamels are not easily available in Europe. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if anybody from Vallejo is watching, but put fucking agitators in your bottles. David and I add glass agitators as soon as we buy them, because they need them. You got to have agitators in your model colours.
I even put agitators in my Citadels when I repot them.
I would if I bought them. But yeah, agitators, people. It's not rocket science. I mean, fucking... That's the other thing that's nice about the old speed paint. Agitators, you see? Just put the fucking agitators in.
That's the other thing I will fault Vallejo. Consistency across the range. Because certain ones are like tar, and then other ones are really watery. And
Again, yeah.
even the same colours can end up with, if you buy them at 2 different times and they're out of 2 different batches, the consistencies can be wildly different. Because I've got a German grey that I absolutely love that's a bit tarry and I can thin it how I want it. And then I've got one that's the complete and utter opposite and it just pisses out of the bottle everywhere.
Yeah. Toros is saying with army painter just squeezing the additional medium out the top first. Yeah, I mean, again, that happens with any of those bottle paints that split. You know, you give it what you think is a good shake and then go to squeeze it and you've got either fucking medium that's just water, or all, if you've stored them upside down or horizontally, the fucking tube is completely blocked with solidified pigment and you've got to clean them out with a staple or a pin. Just annoying.
Paperclip.
So,
Paperclips are where it's at for cleaning them.
Yeah, I've got one for doing that. So let's just
but no, I'm quite partial to Tamiya, particularly for the thing I've used Tamiya and stuff on is doing a lot of terrain. So hairspray weathering, salt chipping, because it's such a thin paint when it's going through the airbrush, and then the airbrush is the only way to apply it. It works really nicely for doing what I want to do. Acrylics can just be a bit soft because I did try doing something with a Vallejo.
Ooh, Panzer. I didn't know that. So are we talking?
It's a little baby one, isn't it, Panzer? It's like a little portable handheld one. It's not a desktop one before you get all excited, Paul.
Okay. I was going to say, don't tell me they're the first paint company to jump into the Vortex mixer market, because that would be cool. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. I'll have to have a look at that.
Jerry wandering in. That is the better solution, Jerry, because I used my back massager the other month when I was doing the load.
Well, he says back massager. Here's my Yojimbo. He's about 50%.
Just sat chilling on your desk, is he?
Just got a few base colours to finish off. Then the washes. He's been on the old to-do list for a good long while now. Bless him. Too many projects, not enough hours.
He'll die of old age.
Yeah, he will have retired before I get him painted. Sad. So, let's bring the chat back so I can actually read what's going on, and it won't be in micro text.
I thought you loved microtext.
Hitachi Magic Wand. Right, we're going to have to check that out. Because that's another thing that I've got on the list of things to buy when I've got spare cash. A mixer of some sort. Obviously, I would have gone with a Vortex mixer, but I'll have to look at that as it's getting a recommendation. So, let's talk about Yetser. Shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we want this one, and then we want to transition here. Ta-da! So,
It's done.
Let me take it's been raining pretty much non-stop for a week here in Scotland, and the humidity is sky high. So even though it's not actually that hot, the sweat is just bloody running off me. So, when we were wandering around Games Expo,
UKG.
we came across this company called Yetser. That's Yetser Terrain, and basically they just do STLs. So
but my God, do they do them well?
This is a 3D printing jobby. But I mean, first things first. Hats off to the guys. They're table looked fucking amazing. So this display that you're looking at here, this is their sci-fi range. Basically, they've just printed the crap out of the pieces and done a basic paint job on it, but Christ, it looks effective. And it looks just as good close up. They've got lovely details like doors that open and close. They're not shown here, but they've got a great system for doing stairways and changing levels. It's really cool.
Yeah, your bases all fit in and cantilever on them if you're using a normal GW size base, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
so
here we go. Yeah, where they've got these Terminators, are they?
Yeah, I think so.
A staircase here that just slots in. So you've got a drop down for the level, and all the minis are accommodated beautifully on it. It looks really good. They've got all these little scatter pieces as well, little chests, look, that open and close.
All them little fuel barrels and stuff as well.
That you hinged for hiding objectives in for games like what's that one by Battle Systems that uses a similar thing with cardboard. If you want to upgrade to
not a clue.
Jerry will know, or it'll come to me.
I was going to say you're the Battle Systems fanboy.
But yeah, the thing that drew our attention as well is that I'm not a fan of Games Workshop plastics because the detail level is just over the edge.
It's a little excessive.
There's too much on there. They're too busy. It's like I've been painting the Kill Team Octaria stuff, and you've got bulbs, light bulbs, wires, switch
control panels, command panels.
You've got junk like tires, cans leaning against bottoms of walls. There's just too much. Whereas these guys have pitched it just right.
And again, if you want to add more detail, you add it by adding scatter pieces.
Yes.
So you get to commit to how much you want to do.
Because again, and the detail isn't bad in any respect. It doesn't affect the game. It always looks better if it's more detailed. But the issue is paint and time. The more crap that you put on it that I've physically got to pick out with a brush, the more of my life you're draining away to get this stuff on the table. And yes, you could just spray it with a primer and then dry brush it.
Oh God, we've angered Tim.
Why?
There's print lines.
Mate, it's fine. I mean, this is some of their busiest pieces. Those wall sections, but it's just great. I love it. So you can see this is a good shot for showing how the system works. Is that the only thing that
I have drawbacks about the system, and I did say this to you while we were there. With those pins and how they want to set it up,
because
it does look a little time consuming and tedious.
These pegs basically have 2.5 slots, and then this bit that goes on top is a capping piece, so that's in 2 sections, and then you've got all of these pieces are separate, the floor pieces are separate, so just that top cube would break down into about 20 pieces of plastic. So if you're keeping it all as pure sub-assemblies, I think the assembly time and putting it all together could become a bit of a fecking nightmare.
But, counterpoint, you just pre-glue some of it into modules.
I'll be honest, that's exactly where I was going with that. I would just make sections that are maybe 3 or 4 squares and just pre-glue them as sections. And then...
I will admit, it is pretty bad to build because I built.
Did you build your freebie?
No, I took one of the freebies because I nicked your freebie, didn't I?
No, I've got mine here.
Oh, I must have got a second freebie somewhere. Yeah. I gave my freebie to Ricky.
Okay.
And it was fiddly to say the least. But it's like I said to Ricky, if you glue all the rest of it together, you can then have the back piece change because Ricky's going to use it for photography.
Okay, that makes sense. Just to create a nice little sort of like an atmospheric placement point for models. Yeah, makes sense.
And I really like the bunker and what's it called?
That's just on screen now. I know you've got a bit of a lag.
I just saw.
Yep. So I will go to their website and look at the terrain ranges in a minute. But this is the newer stuff, and I think they market it as like trenches and bunkers.
Yeah.
One thing I saw looking at this just screamed Space Hulk at me. 2.5D.
2.5D. It's just tall enough and detailed enough to throw some detail on there.
Yeah.
But low enough that it doesn't actually impact your play.
And the STLs to print this entire thing, including all of the decorative pieces, the gun emplacement on the end here, the bunkers, all of those STLs, £6.50, which I thought was pretty nuts. Because that's a lot of stuff for not a lot of cash. I mean, to be fair, David picked up on an STL bundle earlier. That's what was it, $30 Australian dollars, mate?
Yeah, it's 24 with the sale discount.
I don't know what the conversion rate is on Australian dollars, but I shouldn't think there's many more pieces in that bundle than there is in this.
I'll go and tell you what the Australian dollar to GBP conversion rate is in a minute.
And then they had this range, which is for doing more of like futuristic interior stuff.
Infinity, or what's the other one? Stargrave.
Yeah, I mean, this screamed Infinity to me. And the other thing I thought this would be fucking cool for is Aliens versus Predator.
Oh, yes.
But again, it's all modular. They've got these quarter circle pieces, so you can create curves. They've got angled corners, hexagonal corners. Those ugly slots that are visible on the exterior of the support poles can be blocked with buttress pieces, as you can see on the far right of this image at the back. So they've got like detail pieces that can mask the slots and holes. Again, if you want to build, so with something like this, you could build yourself a series of rooms, and then you've just got to assemble the corridors connecting, and you're giving yourself huge flexibility with layouts.
You're not forced.
You don't have to literally have everything broken down. It's a bit like, again, when Mantic brought out Dead Zone First Edition and they initially released that terrain set, which is a similar idea to this, where it's essentially flat panels with little clips, and you just clip all the panels together. And the idea was that it was be kept separate, and you would put it together. Nobody did that because the clips all broke. Everybody put them together in 3 or 4 modular pieces, and you do the same with this.
Second, because I'm gluing them together.
It's the same terrain. They just, so I think Dead Zone First Edition was their progenitor product for that terrain type. But they've duplicated it in every version of Dead Zone since. I think they have refined the clip system now, though. You'll have to pardon me not interacting with chat, guys, but while I've got the slideshow on screen to navigate,
I'll get there in a minute.
The chat's hidden for me, so you guys might be saying loads of interesting stuff, and I'm not ignoring you on purpose. I just can't. I don't have a twin monitors yet, which I need to get.
24 Australian dollars is £13.60. So it's about double the price of the Yetser stuff.
It's about double. But yeah, look.
Yeah, Panzer's saying Yetser stuff is cheap.
Yeah, it is very cheap. I'll be honest, we didn't say so at the time to him, but we were a bit like £6.50. That seems bonkers. How the hell do you ever expect to make a living, mate? But I mean, the attention to detail, that's the other nice thing as well. If it was just dirt cheap and there was just the walls and the pillars and the floor pieces, fine. but he's done all the interior decoration bits and stuff as well. It's just so cool, and even little touches like doors that open.
And pre-supported the entire lot for overhangs and things on FDM. So he's put a lot of effort in.
There he is, Yetser Terrain. So if I go to the main scene again, and if I go here, and
it's almost Boys and Girls at Home, as if he's done this before.
Ba-dum-ba-ding. Before we transition there, we're on the wrong website. So transition, there we go. And this is their website. So there's the industrial set. This is the first stuff that we looked at, which has got that more rough and ready, grim dark look.
Yeah.
So you get 40 quid for this lot, which is that's basically the complete collection. I don't even know how many STLs are in there. Description. It doesn't even tell you. It just tells you all the sets that you get. So I'm guessing that's probably a lot of STLs, as he hasn't fucking even individually listed them. It probably would have broke his heart doing it. But yeah. And then the second, I think it's Galactic. So yeah, you got Galactic. This is the cleaner interior stuff.
Is that like that paramedic warden stuff that was?
Yeah. Pardon my computer, just crapping a brick. Galactic Sets Collection 1. So yeah, this is the cleaner stuff. And in terms, because obviously this stuff does come raw off your printer, you've got to prime it, you've got to paint it. But I think because of this, particularly on this stuff, it's obvious the amount of detail is just enough that you could get through painting this.
Night, Tim, by the way.
In a reasonable amount of time without it becoming a ridiculous overhead in terms of a project.
What? Like that Frostgrave table that you own?
Again, that Frostgrave table you did for me is beautiful, but you've got mixed buildings with
mixed finishes.
You've got wood, tile,
plaster.
Stone, plaster, all different colours, all different textures. You know, it's just so much work, hobby work. It'll look lovely when it's finished, but it's just so much work. And this is the bunker set, £6.50. 6.5 of your English pounds. Crazy good. Crazy good. So yeah, I'd say we were impressed, weren't we, mate, when we saw it?
Yes, we were.
I think Jerry mentioned it. The guys at OnTT mentioned it on the weekend, or just gone.
Good on them though, because it was insanely good value.
Yeah, that's the thing, Panzer. It would be good for any sci-fi game. I mean, I did say to the guy, I dropped the idea. I said that bunker system, because if you change your floor image, your floor design, so that it's in, I don't know, 30mm grid, Space Hulk.
And he said, I hadn't really thought that, but that is an idea, didn't he?
Yeah, you know, easy job, and you've pimped it to the max. Yes, see you later, Tim. I think Tim's gone. So yeah, that was that. Let me go back here. So I'll set up this other slideshow. Select all.
That the WWX and
Select all. Picture
Right.
tools, slideshow. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, pretty lady. I need to change that over to the slideshow. Right. That's all ready to go. Oh, don't do that to me. Yes. Look, stop. Stop, I say. Yeah. So, that's that. So, what's going on in the chat? Nothing much. Okay. Oh, man needs his rest. Okay, yeah, so the other thing that we've got to show everybody tonight, this is not really much of a discussion topic. We're just going to show you some pretty pictures of stuff that was taken at UK Games Expo and blather a bit about Wayland Games and their product offering, because it really impressed the crap out of us, didn't it, mate?
Again, we don't really need to blather when I bought into it.
Yeah, no, we've covered it plenty on the stream already. For those of you who've been watching on previous weeks, we know David bought into Wild West Exodus in a big way, and we've got streams all about that in our previous history.
Shout out to Darren though.
Yeah,
for doing the Wild West Exodus demo game, and B, absolutely gorgeous paint jobs on the demo game minis.
Yeah, so Darren, the studio painter, was running the Wild West Exodus was running the Wild West Exodus demo games at the UKGE, and he was a complete legend. So yeah, shout out to him. So these first few shots, these are the game that I prefer, probably, of the two that we played. Mythos, which is their Call of Cthulhu game. This game is old. You guys who are here from OnTableTop will recognise this, I should imagine, because OnTableTop ran some battle reports and some stuff about it when Paranoid Miniatures first launched it. And it's got that, again, Paul, the rules guy. The unique selling point of this game, the USP, is the fact that your character cards are dual-sided. You have your sane side and your insane side. So when you, during the game, by spending Mythos points or certain other in-game effects, your character changes the way that it works during the game. Super cool idea. So well done. The models are brilliant.
They're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
And they're, again, being Cthulhu Mythos, not only are they a bit weird and otherworldly, but nothing's off the table. You get, I mean, a fucking massive giant crab. Yeah, why not?
Then there's there's that. Then there's the golem, the sand golem, and then the other stuff they had in the cabinet was like the goblins with the travelers. Egyptian minis.
All these photos, by the way, were taken by David Wilson, a guy from our club back in Lincolnshire, who's a far better photographer than I am. So thank you, David, for snapping away all. So this is all the miniatures from the actual demonstration game that they were running of Mythos. There's that sand golem that David was on about. The little explorer woman with her pickaxe. And there's the prof, the leader. Insane guy with a flamethrower and the family cat. What?
I was going to say, you got to the family cat. In the edge of that picture, the one on the right-hand side to the guy with the flamethrower has a nail gun.
They are pretty cool. This we haven't played yet, have we, mate? This is Dystopian Wars. Because you're going to be lagging behind. This table looked beautiful, but we couldn't find time for a demo game.
We had other stuff we needed to get demoed.
And to be fair, like David said earlier, David W., who took these pictures, has got a ton of this already. So I can't remember who owned this game. Because Wayland picked this up again, didn't he? It wasn't originally.
Yeah,
one of
Wayland have gone round hoovering up the IPs.
which is brilliant.
But I do like the fact that they've gone round
Yeah.
hoovering up the IPs because they're now grouping them all together into their dystopian age or whatever it's called, aren't they? Where it's...
Can you see the chat? Jerry'll know who did this originally. Was it the same guys?
I can see chat.
Was it the same guys, Jerry, who did the Halo game? The one, because the Halo game finished them, didn't it? What the hell was their name?
Spartan Games.
Spartan. Was this Spartan? Or am I...
That came courtesy of Panzer, so...
Oh, thanks, Panzer. Was this Spartan? Or am I just a fucking idiot and it's always been Warcradle or...
Jerry's waded in. Yes, it was Spartan.
Thank you, mate. I didn't think I was old and senile. So yeah.
Not yet.
This was another one of their rescued IPs, and I mean the models look fantastic. And the other reason this game really appeals to me is I don't play anything like it. I don't play a game like it. Maybe if I was into Mantic's Armada, although even then the models are way cooler in this. I mean, look at these. I'm assuming these are Japanese. Look at those pagoda styling on that. That is so cool. Oh my god. Beautiful. It's just crazy. Crazy good stuff. This is yours, Jam David. So this was the Wild West Exodus demo table. So this was
absolutely gorgeous minis.
It was a really good table. Fantastic miniatures. They were playing Nikola Tesla versus, what was the other guy you played?
Gustav Eiffel.
That's it, Gustav. Basically, robots versus robots.
And I have Abraham Lincoln sat on my desk.
And there's the insane Nikola Tesla, who was just an absolute beat stick. Talk about special abilities. That was your leader, wasn't it?
Gustav, the guy in the padded chair.
Yeah. With the fucking weird... Oh no, that's it. That was the leader. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah,
Leant forwards with his gun out and his padded chair.
The models are so damn good. Just amazing. These are some of the other stuff that they'd got over in the paint cabinet. Again, props to Darren. Fucking amazing job painting a lot of this stuff.
Right, that is some minis done with skin tone. No, it's only 8:15. Let's have some more beer and have some more drinking.
Jesus Christ, have you seen this flying thing?
Which flying thing?
With the twin Gatling guns. It's like a fucking...
Gyro Cav.
Yeah.
Gyro Cav is what it's called.
Is that the faction you played in the demo game?
Yeah, that's Enlightened.
Yeah. And this is that Nautilus crew, isn't it, that you looked at?
Wrath of the Nautilus, was one of the sets I looked at with Erasmus Darwin, Nimway's at the front right, and then there's the guy with a big bare chest and his barbed whip. Then in the background,
that insane diving suit thing wasn't in the box, was it?
It wasn't in the box. He's a separate mini. He's called Drum, but he does roll round with the Nautilus crew. So,
okay. Some fantastic skin tones. Look at the skin tones on that. That's nuts.
Don't. It makes me jealous.
That is such a good paint job. That's pretty buttery smooth.
And, Paul, if you actually look at the bases, I think they're the resin toppers from
their own
Wild West that we said about. Yeah.
They do look damn good. It's a shame we didn't realise. Although I don't know if they had them for sale at the show, did they?
I don't know.
We didn't look. That's Nikola Tesla again. And some more of his weird droids. Some Necrons there with sword and board. Not really. And here's some more of the dystopian wall stuff. The Oriflame Battlefield. I don't know who the hell that is.
The two walkers wading out of the water are gorgeous as well.
Look at the state of that. The Chanlong Draconic Colossus is that? Oh my god. That is so good. Oh yeah, these things.
Yeah.
The Hochmeister Vitruvian Colossus. These models are just fucking amazing.
I am quite happy though. The likes of Wayland and TT have done well for themselves and are going round and buying up IPs.
Yeah.
From companies that are unfortunately going underwater because of issues.
I mean, they're doing such a great service to our little community by saving these games from the abyss of, anonymity. And they're doing I think they're doing a pretty bang up job of supporting them.
They're doing a stellar job.
I mean,
they are doing an absolutely stellar job.
I mean, I would say the games have got affordable entry points. They've got good quality models. There's a plenty of choice. That they are keeping things fresh without fire hosing the fucking hell out of the release schedule, aren't they?
Adding new minis.
Yep, that's what I mean. They're getting it. I mean, look at the terrain support that they've given both Mythos and Wild West Exodus. Their pre-coloured MDF stuff that's starting to take off.
And dystopian because it's resin.
Yeah, I mean the dystopian stuff's not. It's more just sort of like cast resin you've got to paint and hobby and finish off, isn't it? They don't do any pre-finished stuff.
Because of the scale and everything.
To be fair, I'm thinking about it. With the way Wayland have got a pretty proactive attitude towards business. When you think about it, they're sort of precast resin stuff that they do for dystopian, like the islands and the sandbars and the stuff like that. It wouldn't be that much. I mean, you look at Gale Force 9, their Battlefield in a box stuff. A lot of that's, either vacuum formed plastic or
and you've
resin.
Still got to then do stuff with it.
And it comes ready to play. I mean, it only has the most basic of paint jobs on it, but they're doing it. How long is it before Wayland just say, do you know what?
Well, they're pre-colouring their MDF now, and everything is going that way.
Yeah, because they said, you asked them at the store about that, didn't they? And they said, it's all going to be like this in the future. I wonder how long before you start buying finished little beaches, islands, rocks, all dry brushed up for you. We're on to some Mythos models now. But look at this, man.
Cheers for the sub, Panzer.
Yeah, thanks, Panzer. This is my bag. I have to say, guys.
I love the Traveller set, and I love that Silver Crusade that was on screen for me now with them weird ass creatures with them tongues sticking out.
The Silver Venators or whatever they're called. To be fair, the weird monster beasts with the crystalline spines, yes. The guy in the armour with the sword, probably not so much. Look at the non-metallic metal. That's fucking bonkers.
Don't, because the OSL, we even said it. Me and Paul are not particular OSL fans.
Look at the OSL on her. I don't know, he has, hasn't he? That upper arm has definitely got an orange tint from that.
Yeah, the side of the face has.
I don't think that's photography. That is OSL. But it's subtle. That's what I want to see OSL. I hate OSL. Like, most OSL you see, this side of this face and arm would be as orange as that fucking flame. And that I've never seen OSL like that outside of a comic book. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really good, OSL. Oh, and again, that's why I kind of wanted to shout Darren out, because the painting that he's done locked away in his little shed.
I know what I'm buying next for Mythos.
Them guys.
The gorilla. Look at the gorilla.
He is not
what
Mythos. He is Lost World Exodus.
It says Mythos Soul Hunters. So are they
No,
Lost World
they're
Exodus?
both. They're Wild West Exodus, Mythos, and Lost World Exodus.
Oh my god. This is what Jerry was on about. Because this is the other thing. Again, smart.
That set on screen with the gorilla doesn't come in the base set, I don't think.
Okay, this was one of the ones you shortlisted, was it?
Yes, this was one of the ones I shortlisted because of seeing this paint job in here.
I think I'm just going to buy the gorilla to paint because that's just fucking amazing. Look at that model. It's not often I say that, but yep, I'm sold. And the fact I could print cards and play them in Mythos. Let me see.
I'll tell you what you do need to get painted first, though, that's a gorilla.
My
Drowned Earth.
Drowned Earth. That's true, I haven't painted him yet.
When you painted him, you can treat yourself.
That's the gypsies you were on.
Yeah.
Look at this guy with the clown's face. What the fuck?
Yeah, both the little goblins with the clown face.
So cool. Little themes. The Custos Crypta. They look pretty fucked up. What is going on with the thing in the background? What?
The scarabs.
That is
the
crazy.
Egyptian themed set.
I love it. I love it.
They're honestly amazing minis, and for those that haven't tried the game, if they're at a show near you, try it. If you like your Cthulhu stuff, definitely buy into it.
No prizes for guessing all these photos at the end of mine because they're way too dark and mostly out of focus because I'm not anywhere near as good as a photographer as David. But yeah, awesome. Loving everything that Wayland are doing at the minute, to be fair. And as I say, that not only does it look lovely, Panzer, but the game, it's got
the game plays well.
Was it D10, same as Wild West?
No, 2D6.
2D6. So it's got 2D6 system. See you later, Panzer. It's got 2D6 system. You've got like Mythos
Bye, Panzer.
pool which is a resource you have to manage during the game. And as I say, you've got this thing where your miniatures can flip flop between insane
Madness.
and normal. Just crazy good. So much going on in it.
It's yeah.
And the thing is, we enjoyed the game, and we didn't even play a proper mission, did we, mate? It was just march across the board and punch the opponent in the face.
Yeah, that because again, that was something that you actually pointed out as a valid point when we went back in when we were discussing obviously games to buy. Because obviously both Mythos and WWX were on the table for me. The fact was WWX, it was more playable in the regard of it was a more true to game experience for the demo game.
That's true.
Compared to the Mythos game that we played, where like Paul says, it was march across the table and smack shit out of one another.
So you weren't playing with any objective grabbing or anything like that. And you weren't sort of sampling the full subtlety, but I guess with demo games, I totally understand
you can't necessarily.
I understand why these guys make the decision. Well, we're going to run it simple. Don't overwhelm people with everything in the kitchen sink in their first game, etc., etc. Totally get it. So, right, well, it's 9:30. I hope everybody enjoyed our little trip down the UKGE experience. If anybody has any requests for what they would like to see from UKGE or anything that they that we haven't covered if they've been watching our previous shows. Anything we haven't already covered, but you think, like your favourite game we haven't mentioned, your favourite manufacturer we haven't mentioned, just put it in the comments. If they were there, if we got some pictures and got a look at what they were offering, we'll talk about it happily. Because we were there for the full weekend, weren't we, buddy?
Yes, we were. And we'll be there the full weekend this coming year.
It'll take some sort of cataclysmic global event to keep us away, because it's a very, very, very fun show.
Well, it's a very, very fun weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. To be fair, I didn't really I didn't envy you, Jerry, because I know that when you're working with the OnTableTop guys, you've got such a lot of stuff to cover in so little time. You really don't.
You got to run around like a mad thing.
You don't have really enough time to sample the experience from a selfish consumer point of view, do you? But
But I suppose flip side, it's better on his wallet.
Yeah, true. He doesn't have time to just sneak off and spend money. Yeah, there is that. That's not a bad call. Still, to be fair, I imagine Jerry doesn't struggle to spend money.
Well, he's a bit hobby magpie.
Jerry the dealer.
Next to me.
And I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. The only
God, here we go.
The only criticism I would make about speed paints, because I'm a bit of a fan, is the use of the word speed in the name. Because
it's a bit misleading.
Because you have to be so clean, and because they've got such I don't know what the technical term. It's not very sciencey of me, but
staining properties.
Well, the way that they draw the capillary action on them is so intense. If you just touch your brush somewhere, the stuff sucks right into every crack, crevice, and so because you have to be so clean, you actually paint quite slowly. So it ends up not being a very quick experience, but it is very simple.
I have.
You're only doing one step, not three.
If I get a better background.
Are you wanting to go to minicam, buddy?
Go to minicam.
Yeah, just let me get this black on this elbow so that it's
no,
all
Gary, to be fair, we haven't been to Salute. The reason being it's a pain in the arse to get to being in London.
Yeah, I've looked at it a couple of times, Jerry, but it's just travelling into London, like David says, I'm a bit not.
Well, it's at the XL, isn't it? Yeah, and I've been to the XL once for a MCM Comic Con, and I'm not going to lie, I will never do that again because
it's Islington, isn't it? Am I right? Is that the right part of London? I'm not a massive London nerd, so I don't know. I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, tell us if we're wrong, Jerry, but...
So, this guy has had his skin tone finished and his red finished. I just got his armour to do and then his weapons. So I think the skin tone going up to that white grey looks pretty banging.
Well, do you know what? I like where it's going, because we talked about it last time on stream, didn't we? And then when we finished, we said about going into a white, a very, very super pale skin tone. I think it's working well, mate.
I think I'm leaving it there. I don't want to go too much further.
No, I think it's looking good. Looking banging.
No, I mean, compared to the Red Grass Games white palette lid, there's not much different.
Yeah, but again, even against that white background, the models are readable.
Yeah.
Which, if they were too washed out, they wouldn't read against white. They'd look crap.
So yeah, that's the white done. That's the red done.
Are we
So
are
now
we making too much of Salute being a pain in the ass to get to, Jerry, or are we being pissy old men
drama
about
queens?
it? I mean, David's got it pretty bloody good, you know. They're only small local shows, but where David is in South Lincolnshire, he's got the big one at Newark. He's got Peterborough, which is not a bad little show.
What one's that? Hereward War Games,
Yeah,
which is
and
the Peterborough one.
you've got
Diceni over in Norwich.
at Norwich.
We went to Diceni. That's where we got Drowned Earth.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. They are little local shows, but you can...
To be fair, Jerry has just made a point. Jerry flies in, then gets the train.
Yes, so actually, that's a good point. I mean, to be fair, when you said about it was a fucking nightmare and you'd never do it again, mate, did you go in on the train, or did you try to take a car?
No, went in on the train.
And then took the tube?
Yeah, and then the tubes were cancelled coming back out, and it's just like, no, fuck this shit.
I mean, that's the other thing. Salute is only one day. I'll be honest, that's the other thing that puts an old fart like me off, Jerry, is that
he ain't got time to run around and do everything. I'm ready to turn camera off if you got, boy.
Okay, the hotels in London would cost me my kidneys. And unless I literally travel down on the train in the morning and then travel home in the evening, which will make it a preposterously long and tiring day, you know. Whereas, expensive though UKGE is, you're not talking London levels of hotel prices.
No. So UKG is 3 days. And it's like your one holiday a year kind of thing. It's similar for me in that regard.
Did you pay the hotel bill, or was Warren picking up the tab? And that was a roundabout way of asking, do you know how much it cost? Or was it covered by the guys who were running it? Because you guys covered the Salute event anyway, didn't it? So it may have even been part of the sort of business deal. Jammy fucker. Still, I say that, I'll go back to my point earlier. It was wonderful to help you guys out for that year we came down and act as volunteer cameramen, but fun though it was, and great though it was to help out, you don't see anything of the show. Not really.
No.
Yeah, Wayland travel. Yeah, okay. That's fair, mate. That is fair.
And UKGE paid for the hotel. Oh yeah, I forgot OnTableTop are now bought by Wayland, aren't they?
Yep. Yep, there.
I forgot that.
Yeah, well, they don't own us, but we still think they're a good company.
Yeah, we're not paid. We're not paid to promote.
Yeah, we're not paid to say they're
However,
good.
we do accept gratuitous gifts of miniatures and plastic crack.
However, before you send David a damn thing, make him sign something so that he's got to paint it. Yeah.
It's a different feel to UKG because there's no board games, etc.
Yeah, it is just tabletop war games, and there's much more of the military
historicals.
Historicals was the word I was fishing for, so ineptly. Lots more of the historicals than that, isn't there? To be fair, that's why I enjoy the Hereward show and Diceni, because there's...
you see the stuff that you don't see.
Yeah, like last time we went to Diceni, there was guys playing that... I don't know the name of it. One of the Osprey games that's...
Gangs of Rome.
Yeah, they were playing Gangs of Rome, but there was also one group of local club, I think, were running the Osprey, like ninjas and like a Test of Honor, but Osprey do a small rules book for it.
Not a clue.
They were also playing Dead Man's Hand, was there at
Fair
Diceni
enough.
when we went.
I've decided what. Oh, for fuck's sake! Sorry,
Ronin,
for
thank you,
everybody at
Jerry.
home that have
Yeah,
died,
I mean,
killed with my mic.
when we went to Peterborough, they were playing Sharp Practice, weren't they? They're that demo, huge demo table with Sharp Practice on it.
I don't know. I was too busy looking at the Ghost Archipelago minis that I still haven't painted.
So these like small shows, and like I said, Newark's getting better every year. I hear. I've never been to that one.
To be fair, I've never been, so I'll have to have a go and take some footage for people, I guess.
You shall.
I shall. I've been peer pressured into it apparently. Where did my newspaper go that I was spraying on to?
How right, mate? I'm not saying. Yeah, that's one of the things I like about small club conventions. The games they put on. Yeah, you're dead right. Last time we went to Peterborough, the actual Peterborough Gaming Club, they used. I think it was the Lion Rampant rules. They did a homebrew Lannister versus Stark's Game of Thrones skirmish scenario, and they were just being creative with bits that they'd got, and I played the demo game. It was bloody good fun, really good fun. And it's like you say, that little bit, that sort of creativity shines at these smaller shows.
I'm just undoing my zenithal on this miniature.
Okay. Why?
Because I've decided I'm going for colour shift on it.
Oh. Not Zenny shift.
No, because the Zenny shift is blue-green, and that will clash like shit with the red and white.
Okay,
Whereas I have a Turbo Dork paint called Skyrat.
Okay.
Which, if I can find it,
are we talking?
It's a black, blue, and purple. Magic.
Yeah,
Jerry,
well done,
magic.
Jerry. Fucking hell. That's brilliant. It did sound like he was sucking something anyway.
Can't take you two anywhere, can I? Oh, yay, that's a nice, healthy, thick, goopy mess. Now, where did my trash brush go?
I don't think he even knows what he's just said.
No, I'm glossing over it. I'm not as childish and immature as
certain
other members.
Comments. Jerry's
Yeah, I did see that. That's what she said.
Oh God, that's it. I'm broken. Jesus
Jerry,
Christ.
Jerry, if you kill off my partner in crime, you're gonna have to come and host stream with me. I'm just saying, don't kill him off.
Jesus, what a horrible goopy mess. Just when Jerry was talking about sucking off, mate. You really, Jesus. Anyway.
It's thick and black.
Yeah. Ugh. I can get you some antibiotics for that.
No, I thought you only tend to have antibiotics when it's green.
Well, black's just as concerning. I mean, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but black's not good.
It's because it's all the polyurethane primer out of this fucking airbrush. And my work here is done. Cheers, Crispin.
Jesus. Oh dear.
My stream was not.
See you, Crispin. Oh my god. How childish. So yeah. You will have to go to them smaller shows. I don't know what you've got coming up. When is Hereward? September time?
Yeah, September.
So that's
If
way
it's a
off, isn't
week,
it?
that's going to be the only problem though. Is if it's a weekend, I've got Little One.
Oh, of course, yeah. And it's a little bit far for me to travel.
I mean, you say far, I say a very good excuse to come and show your face again.
To be fair, and the hotels are dirt cheap down our way. 20 quid a night, I imagine. Would be doable. 25 maybe.
Right,
So,
I think.
certainly
Yeah, that's
not
where.
UKG territory. So I never did clarify, but I assume you're talking about this rock objective marker thing
Yes.
for Morrigan's Warband.
Yes.
I assumed that's what you was talking about, but I didn't know for sure.
Well, I think it's like you said, going a good monochrome will look good.
So that you're going, you just
It's a black, but it shifts through purple and blue.
Okay. So it's a colour shift, black and blue.
Yeah, black, blue, and purple.
Interesting. And then are you going to do, what are you just going to do, grey smoke? Or are you going to do some weird exotic colouring or what?
Possibly grey. I want to get the minis finished first to then decide. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, boys. I want to get the minis done so I can then decide what colour.
Oh, Carlos is coming over. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Essen. I mean, I guess Essen would be fun. I'm playing more board games recently, mate. So, oh, sorry, I've just scanned up in chat. Crispy wasn't leaving. He was just glad we'd reached his level.
We.
That's
regularly
awesome. That is
stay at this
absolutely
level.
awesome, mate. So Carlos is coming over with some cunning plan. So there'll be some new release, will there? Interesting. Wonder what that'll be. Yeah. I remember I went to a smaller games convention in Germany, years ago now. We was in Munich, and we were it was a European Championships for a card game called Warcry, I think. I seem to remember I lost every game. But the football was on, the World Cup, and the Germans were excellent hosts.
And the beer was good.
Beer was fucking cracking.
Cough, fantasy game coughs. Is that walk?
Oh, yeah, the
Warcrow?
Warcrow. Yes. I must confess, I am extremely intrigued. I haven't.
Oh shit, my brushes.
I am being honest. I haven't really taken to Aristea or any of the other Corvus. Well, they just don't really appeal to me as games.
I don't know. I could probably get behind some Aristea.
But I love Infinity so much. I'm intrigued to see what they do with a sort of a more sophisticated skirmish fantasy game, if that's what this ends up being. I am very intrigued with that. Yeah, that's exactly why... See, Jerry's the same as me. That is exactly why I'm interested, Jerry. Because, like, Infinity is just one of the best systems. Yeah. It makes you wonder how they would do it. Because at the same time, there has to be something unique about it. I mean, if it is literally Infinity with bows and arrows, I'll be a bit... Why not just play Infinity, frankly? There needs to be something unique to set it apart.
Magic work?
Yeah. I mean, there's 100 different... I mean, again, if magic works like hacking... Yeah. There are 100 different ways they could set it apart. But unless they do something to create a unique game, I don't necessarily just want to play Infinity with bows and arrows. I don't see the point of that. I already play so many games, it wouldn't be enough to bring me in. Do you know what I mean?
Feedback on the Turbo Duck paints. They need thinning.
The metallics.
The colour shift needed thinning. It jammed my airbrush up.
Ooh. What, you want a 0.3 needle?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So what did you do? Did you put any flow aid or anything, or did you just dunk it?
I put thinner in it.
Okay. After it had jammed?
Yeah, and then backflowed it.
Okay.
And it's now working fine.
So what ratio? 50-50?
I don't know. I just put a load of drops in and then put slightly too much in, so I put a bit more paint in.
So to be refined.
Oh my god, this colour's gorgeous. Yeah. We'll just spray the rest of that out on my airbrush. Right, that's clean now. Where's my tip guard? There it is.
Okay.
There was a game called Evil's Columns made by Infinity fans, and it had a feel of it, but with a lot of other bits on it as well.
So is that freely distributed out on the internet, Jerry, or is that a bit of a got to be in the know thing to?
You got to go hunt it down.
Because I might look for that.
I was going to say, if you don't, I probably will, because I know a man that would be intrigued.
Do you know?
You're going to go look now?
No, I'm going to paint these. Just neaten this up.
Right, airbrush cleaner time.
Excellente. Well,
hang on before we get ready round to wrapping up. We've got 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's all right. Chill down. I hope everybody got something constructive done. How did you get on with your cavalry, Jerry? Did you get everything assembled?
Went to Kickstarter and about to ship to backers, I believe. Minis are stonking.
Oh, it went to Kickstarter. Okay, right. I shall check that out on Kickstarter. I shall have a quick flick through later.
Right, sir.
Hang on, mate.
Face down camera when you're ready.
Let's get the black on this panel. It's the only other thing about speed paints is you want to finish a section.
Yeah.
Because if you paint up to a dry edge, you can get like a dark spot.
Tide mark.
Yeah. So it's always best to finish an enclosed, a defined area in one pass.
Yeah.
Right, I'm done. All the leather done on the cav onto skin tones out. How big a unit is it, mate? You didn't say, or you didn't say how many there were. I'm assuming it's probably not that many because it's a small skirmish game.
White background.
Ugh. Okay. Well, you're on camera, mate, so you just do you.
Give everyone motion sickness.
Yeah.
So we have
Wow.
Sky Rat.
Actually, you can see the blue-purple. That's... Put it back against the back.
I unfortunately, because of how colour shift works, I can't just rotate the piece. I have to also move the camera angle because at this angle it's all red. It's all blue.
To be
if
fair,
I come down there, look at that. Look how purple that is.
I was going to say, the closer you put it to your white background, it affects. I think it's affecting the auto white balance on the camera, and it brings the colour shift out more. Because it was much more apparent with your initial shot, with it was resting on it.
There.
Unit of 8, but mounted and unmounted, so everyone is paired.
There we go. Okay, we go from a blue to a purple, all on a black base.
Yeah, the
so
blue
that
comes...
is. Let's see if we can get a decent setup without if I don't deafen everybody at home. With Morrigan and the other guys.
Because you were worried about how much your red accent colour would carry through. Have you got enough red on all of your other models, do you think?
Possibly.
Because we talked about weathering, didn't we?
Yes, and rust.
To be fair, even if it's only just a splash of red, as long as it's the same amount...
Yeah, it's all the
roughly,
same red. And virtually the same amount. Like, he's got the most red on him.
But it's not huge. Probably the one out of the 3 at the back, the one in the centre, I can't see any red on him. He's really
on his
only
thighs.
Got a touch. Yeah. He's the only one though. The others it's really apparent. Looking good, mate.
No, I just got the armour to do and the weapons, and then they're done. And the other thing I might end up doing is getting Morrigan's staff masking off and using some more Sky Rat on the end of that.
Oh yeah.
To tie him in.
Yeah. Looking good. So what is the top of
colour.
Is the top of that staff some sort of like
it's
forged
crystal
metal?
And it's crystal and wreathed in smoke.
I was going to say, or is it? Yeah, I wasn't sure whether it was like a magic effect or whether it was actually just metal, forged into a cool shape.
Crystal and wreathed in smoke. But then, to be saying that, I could do that as a metal staff because it's not really got any wood texture to it.
No, I think your first call was better. I think to go to like a really aged silvered wood
aged
look.
Ash or something.
Yeah, that is definitely the look. I think that would be so cool.
Because then that'll tie back in with the whites of the skin and the black on this colour shift.
Yeah, just remember, because obviously you've got the arm in such close proximity, although you're going into the greys, don't get too close to your skin. Keep the colour separation in your skin notes.
Yes.
But as long as you do that, I think that's the way it goes, mate. Good work.
How did you get on tonight?
Me, well, I've got a couple of... Let's go to my mini shot. That's the wrong one. Turn off David's mobile so we don't have some weird ghosting overlay. So basically, I've moved on to the black. So if I transition, and then I'll have to try and hold the miniature. So we're doing the waist pieces and the sleeves on these guys, getting the black coloration down, and then it's all about doing it in stages. Obviously, when you're batch painting 20 odd models, even just doing one colour takes a fair amount of time. So I haven't made fantastic progress, but I've made some progress.
And some progress is better than no
Well,
progress.
some progress on 30 models, 34 models, is good progress, isn't it? Even if it's only a small amount. Because when the project's done, it'll smash out a ton of minis. Right. I think we're calling
Then
it.
I have that backlog to work through.
Well, yeah, don't. I'm looking at this Wild West Exodus. I don't know what to paint next. I think I might paint Ezio.
Oh, what, the one I sent down to you?
No, this is the core game one, not your special promo one, because you get 2 versions of Ezio in the box, and then you sent me the Kickstarter exclusive, so that'll give me 3 versions of Ezio. Because I didn't realise, when you're playing as the assassins, if, say, for example, you have casualties, you can run the apprentice assassins while you're healing up your other guys, but you can also run Ezio. So he can be a stand-in for one of your guys. I don't know if he's required for certain scenarios, but...
Jerry's just said he looks forward to seeing David's progress on Assassin's Creed next week. Right, that's settled what I'm doing on stream next week, which is showing Paul up with Kickstarter exclusive stuff.
Ooh! How? Okay.
I'm gonna kick you where it hurts, because I've got some terrain that I need to paint, because I can use that in Carnivale as well.
Oh my god, Jerry, you set him off. Well done, though. Nice one. I like it. Right, okay, guys. Thank you very much for everybody who was in chat. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you can find the time. It really helps to feed the YouTube algorithm. Also, again, comment below, particularly if there's anything you want to see or didn't see from me, you know, want to see more of from UK Games Expo. Like I say, I've still got a massive library of photographs that we haven't talked about, and there's loads of games that we saw and played that we could chat at length about. And until next week, have a good week of hobby and gaming, and get some stuff painted.
I was going to say, get those minis painted, get those minis built, make some progress.
Okay, we will see everybody next week.
Ciao.
That's it.